All right. Shall we start?
Just a second. Gotta scroll all the way to the top. Okay.
Well, good morning again, friends, and welcome to 1 Million Cups Fairfax. And as always, thank you for taking the time and attending this event. Next slide, please. Well, we are a part of Kaufman Foundation. We work with communities to help entrepreneurs solve problems they face in their business. Next slide, please. Something is coming on the way. So we are local and we are national. We are about presentations, not pitches, run for the community, by the community, and we are radically inclusive. And also, we are about building authentic connections, not just networking. So talking about authentic connections, as Jen and Melinda mentioned, please leave your information in the chat. And after the chat, after the event, take the information and talk to each other. Talking about each other, please don't forget to leave your phone number. Next slide, please. Well, always, we welcome our visitors. So if you are a visitor or haven't been here for a while, please tell us your name. Please raise your hand, and when called upon, tell us your name, your company name, and how you heard about us. John? So who are the visitors here today? Rose, you want to go ahead?
Sure. My name is Rose Yaguchi. Our company is LASCPA, and I heard about you all through the Central Fairfax Chamber of Commerce. Thank you.
All right. John, we can't hear you, I think. Who else is there? New? Maybe. All right, so let's move on. So we want to grow our participation. Scan the QR code and check in, and also invite your friends to attend and benefit from these events. And it also helps us show Kaufman Foundation how active and engaged we are in the community. Next slide, please. Well, we cannot do this without our organizers. So please, if you are interested, we are always looking for more. So if you are interested, let us know. And also, we are supported by and part of Central Fairfax Chamber of Commerce. Scan this QR code and you'll find out all about what we do, about our events. Next slide, please. So today we have two sponsors, Mason Enterprise Center, George Mason, who let us use their facility for the first Wednesday of the month, and Hyson Tucker from Laundry Basket. Jen, you want to talk about Mason Enterprise Center, please?
Of course, happy to. Mason Enterprise Center is where we meet Wednesday morning, the first Wednesday of every month. We'd love to have you join us there. I'm going to put a link in chat so you can learn more about Mason Enterprise Center. It is an incubator and accelerator. They have over 100 businesses that operate out of there, whether it's through the office space or as virtual members. They have huge conference rooms, training areas, which is where we meet, but they also have rooms for team meetings, board meetings, etc. One of the unique things about MEC is that they have over 20 mentors that are part of being a member there. So if you're interested in growing a tech business, a GovCon business, any kind of business, they really do provide the resources to do that. They are over 90% capacity as far as being full. So there's a few spots left. If that is part of your strategic plan for the year, or if you want to learn more about it, please reach out to them. You can talk with Eddie Hill. He has been a fantastic partner for us. The other thing I'll point out, I'm going to put a link to the events in chat. They have an event coming up on the 25th of March around collaborating and working in the GovCon space. So if that's a place you're interested in learning more about, please attend that. They have another event in April on using AI in practical ways. So they've got a lot of great programming that's open to anybody and you can attend. With that, I'm super excited to turn it over to our coffee sponsor, Hyacinth.
Good morning, everyone. I hope that everyone has had their coffee for the morning. I am Hyacinth Tucker, your friendly laundry and dry cleaning specialist. And I want you all to imagine a world where instead of dirty clothes greeting you every day, a pile of soft, great smelling, fluffy, folded clothes greets you instead. Well, that is the reality that I make for thousands of customers every month. And so the Laundry Basket is a platform that provides full service, on demand laundry, dry cleaning, and alteration services straight to your door 7 days a week. And we not only just work with busy individuals, families, caregivers, seniors, but we also work with nonprofit organizations. So as they get clothes donated, we launder them and we deliver them to our unhoused population. We also work with many businesses like gym spas, hotels, universities, department stores, and airlines. And we also work in the government space on the local, state, and federal side as we manage the laundry and linen that comes out of our local VA hospitals. So join us on this journey to make Laundry Day no longer a bad word. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Hyacinth. Next slide, please. So while we are in the meeting, please mute your phones and microphones. Be courteous and respectful. After the presentation, you will have a chance to ask one question at a time, and when ready, please raise your hand. Next slide, please. So today our presenter is Dr. Paulette Hubbert. Dr. Hubbert, she is the founder and CEO of Warrior and Her Truth. Dr. Hubbert, go ahead, take the floor.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you so much for having me and allowing me to present. I found out about 1MillionCups a couple weeks ago, and I've just been excited about being a member and a part of this group. Warrior and Her Truth started as a result of, I have a private practice, a mental health private practice. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, and I have a private practice, a mental health private practice where I have a contract with VA Community Care and provide mental health services to veterans. I had a female veteran come to me one day that had been referred for anxiety. And after we got past the formalities, she started crying. And 10 minutes later, she was still crying. And throughout the whole session, she cried, and to the point that I got concerned that she may be suicidal, but she promised me that suicide was not an option for her. And she left that day with me not knowing why she was there, but she had promised to come back the following week. When she came back the following week, she, after we got past the formalities, and I was like, so tell me why you're seeking services, she started crying again. So after about 5 minutes, I told her, don't worry about telling me why you're here. Tell me about you. What is it that you want me to know about you? And what she shared was that she had retired from the military. She had retired from a second career. Her and her husband had raised 4 children, and now they were empty nesters. And because now all the things, she was at home every day, she didn't have any distractions. And I was like, what do you mean distractions? What she shared with me was that early on in her career in the military, her supervisor had sexually assaulted her. The DOD calls it MST, military sexual trauma, but basically it translates into sexual assault, or if we even want to be more candid, rape. And she shared with me that her supervisor had sexually assaulted her, and then she had to work for him for almost a year before he actually transferred. And she never told a soul. And she said throughout the years, she had all of the distractions of raising children and family and careers, that when the anniversary of the sexual assault would come up, there was something there to distract her. Well, now that she's an empty nester and it was just her and her husband, she didn't have any more distractions. And the anniversary of the sexual assault was coming up. And so hence she was requesting services. And she carried, and the thing that amazed me is that she carried the secret for almost 40 years without telling a soul. So that got me curious as to how prevalent military sexual assault was, or even just difficulties that women face in the military. I'm also a retired Marine. So I was shocked when I started researching at the prevalence of MST. It's 1 in 3 women in the military will be sexually assaulted. There's also a high suicide rate. 92% of women, of female veterans are more likely to commit suicide compared to female civilians who haven't served. So after I started reading all of this and seeing all these statistics, I started wondering about how many other women were out there that didn't have a safe place to land and hadn't had an opportunity to tell their story and or needed help. Hence, Warrior and Her Truth were born.
Maria, can we move to next slide, please? Yeah.
My challenge question is, because it's a nonprofit, my challenge question is what strategies, target audiences, and messaging approaches will most effectively position my nonprofit to attract sustainable funding? That's my challenge. And again, our mission is to empower female veterans to reclaim their lives after military service. Our core values are honesty, integrity, and respect guide everything we do in the services that we provide. And we're dedicated to serving our veterans with compassion and empathy. We also provide support and resources specifically tailored to address the unique experiences and challenges of female veterans. As I said, as I've already been introduced, I'm Dr. Hubbert, and so forth. So my company's timeline, I officially launched Warrior and Her Truth in November 2025. We had our first cohort of 12 women. We will always only have, we have cohorts. We start cohorts and we'll only have up to 12 women in a cohort. We officially had our first cohort in January. We just finished our 6-week online program, and we will have our first retreat in April. When did I sell my first? Oh, I don't sell. My first donation was in November when I launched the program. And our plan is to operate nationwide, which is part of why it's an online program. Next slide. Our problem that we saw, we address critical gaps in gender-specific trauma-informed mental health support for women veterans. We provide a holistic mental health approach to providing services to female veterans. We reduce isolation, suicide risk, and identity loss. We also help to restore connection, purpose, and community beyond the uniform. Next slide. Our revenue streams and the funding that we're seeking is through grants and foundations, corporate sponsors and partnerships, and individual donor contributions are always welcomed. We offer a 6-week online virtual program for women veterans that culminates into a 4-day healing retreat. Our ideal clients are typically female veterans who, between the ages of 30 and 60, that seems to be the age group we're attracting. And what is the unique value we provide? Again, gender-specific trauma-informed healing for female veterans, combining clinical expertise, military cultural competence, and peer sisterhood and holistic restoration. And what differentiates me, that word, I always struggle with that word, but what makes us different is Warrior and Her Truth is because we provide holistic, cohort-based healing journeys exclusively for women veterans. Next slide. Again, our ideal target audience is 30 to 60-year-olds, and what companies or organizations could benefit from partnering with me are organizations that prioritize veteran wellness, women's mental health, workforce resilience, and community impact. So that would be federal and federal and state government agencies, veteran-focused nonprofits, corporate and philanthropic partners, healthcare and academic institutions. And right now, our marketing channels are social media. Our competitors, the Department of Veteran Affairs, of course, provides services for female veterans, mental health services. Wounded Warrior Project also provides services for female veterans. They've done a better job at creating services for female veterans. That wasn't always a focus. And then the Cohen's Veteran Network, which provides outpatient and mental health services to veterans and their families. And how might I leverage? Warrior of Truth can position itself as a complementary partner by offering services that these other organizations don't provide, such as women-only cohorts, identity restoration programming, retreat-based integration experiences, and leadership, betrayal, and moral injury workshops, tailored again specifically for female veterans. And so back to my challenge question, what strategies, target audiences, and messaging approaches will most effectively position my nonprofit to attract sustainable funding?
Sure. Good morning, everyone. I have the pleasure of being the moderator for today's Q&A session. And please raise your electronic hands or wave furiously if you have to. And we ask that you ask one question at a time. Try not to have follow-up questions. And Paulette, as we've discussed, often your answer can be as simple as, thank you, what a great idea, and I'll call on the next person. It's most important that we let people express their ideas and thoughts and introductions they make, and the more the merrier, and you'll have it all videotaped. So you could play Wordle or Words with Friends while everyone is speaking and no one would even know that. That's a joke. We do have hands up, and we'll start with AJ and then Christine.
So good morning again. Dr. Hubbard, have you tried to contact the political entities in associating with them? Because that can, number one, have you good exposure. Number two, all these politicians I've seen, they want to make themselves look good.
Yes, we have reached out to some.
Okay.
Thank you, though.
Sure.
Christine.
Hi, good morning. Good morning, Dr. Hubbert. My
morning.
name is Christine Groh. I actually have a communications consulting firm that works with nonprofits as well as healthcare institutions. And my question for you is whether you have a grants manager. I'm focusing on the fact that you're looking at sustainable funding, which to me says going to foundations or institutions that award grants. So I'm wondering if that's been part of your strategy so far.
No, I don't have a grants manager, but I would love to have one. So thank you. I'll definitely keep you in mind.
Jen.
Just a slightly different perspective. And Dr. Paulette, I love all of the work you're doing. Thank you for that. I would look at maybe partnering with national organizations that are women focused. I'm a member of NABO, so the National Association for Women Business Owners, but they also do philanthropic giving. So Community Foundation in Northern Virginia could be another organization I might look at just locally here. But I think there are definitely national partnerships that could help raise awareness and scale. So happy to talk with you more about that offline as well.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Tom.
Yeah, Paulette, great presentation. Just wanted to give you a couple of suggestions. Like as far as like the other channels, focus on the companies too that are veteran-friendly employers, right? The top veteran-friendly employers around the Beltway. They probably would love to have that as a service for some of the vets. One way to look at and try to find them and identify them quickly would be like through the Hire Vets program and the Virginia Values Veterans. Basically, those are distinctive awards that the employers will get for their commitment to hiring veterans. So it may be a good channel to kind of use, and then you can kind of work through their HR department as well to try to become part of that ecosystem.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Great, Tom. Michael.
Thanks, John. Nice presentation. If I work in the association community, and I would suggest that you look for a champion to put a face on what it is that you're trying to do. You're in the DC area. I would look for a high-ranking retired female officer. There are plenty of them. That's not a problem. And have that person, have a conversation with them and see if they'll, be the face of the cause that you're putting forward. I have some other ideas, but let's let some other people go.
Okay, thank
AJ's,
you.
sorry, AJ's up. On mute, my man.
So, Dr. Hubbard, I have a question here. Why are you limiting yourself between the ages of 30 and 60? That's one question. And why you are just limiting yourself on a particular gender? This could be a common problem for almost everybody.
Do I answer that or do I?
You can answer
Yes.
that, sure.
Okay. Um, I'm not limiting myself to 30 to 60. That seems to be the population, the age group that we're attracting.
Okay.
So any age is welcome, but that seems to be the age group that we're attracting that are asking for services. And again, it's gender specific because programs are limited for female veterans. The VA just got on board with offering Wounded Warrior Project and the VA, those type of organizations just recently got on board with offering female over the past few years, offering female specific programming. And sometimes it's difficult for females to be in a room full of men sharing private information and having those private conversations that are specific to females. So that's why it's gender specific.
Okay.
I'm going to add to that. I had the benefit of visiting with Paulette last week, and she quoted some statistics. Women veteran suicide rates are higher than men's suicide rates, and they're probably, as Paulette mentioned, have less treatments available to them. Christine.
Thank you. One other thought that I had, if you're looking at sustainable funding, Dr. Hubbard, I'm not sure what your structure is, but if you start to build yourself a board, the main responsibility of the board will to be fundraise for you. So I would think about if you haven't already, starting with a board that, of people who are financially able to support you, are passionate about your mission. And as they come on board and have that kind of responsibility to help you raise money, a big way to get funds, especially in this area where you have so many veterans, and this is such an important issue, is in-home events, just to share information about who you are and what you do. It sounds almost like guerrilla tactics, but they're very effective because people see you when they can get to engage with you and your mission. And if you have people coming to willing to talk, that can be really helpful for just engagement and support.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
So I'll chime in with questions and thoughts. I think reaching individual donors should be your lowest priority, except for what Christine just said relating to the board. Because if you can find people who can make meaningful, meaning a couple of $1,000 and up contributions to be on your board, they have the ability to turn around and ask their friends.
Okay.
I think it's the track you've started of going or thinking about the grant channel and the corporate channel. The veteran friendly, the DoD contractors. That relates to marketing. On messaging, your story is big. It's easy for you to pull on the heartstrings of people based on your experiences and the brief story you gave us. So that's just my thoughts. I'll go to Jen, then Michael.
I'll share an idea. I don't know that it's my favorite of the ones we've heard so far, but I do think education and awareness is important. So I was just going to suggest considering a webinar, monthly webinar where you invite someone on and you talk about, um, it can be a dialogue with a veteran. It can be talking about all of the different elements you're talking about. It could even be someone from the VA or from Wounded Warrior Project, just to elevate the conversation, because this is bigger than just you. But you
Yes.
can, if you're doing webinars, one of the nice things is you can have brand association and increase awareness based on who is on the discussion with you. So it's just a thought. And then with all of that video content, you can do a ton of great social media marketing. You can do, targeted LinkedIn ads to veterans if you wanted to. So it's just thinking through, how do we build out that visibility so you can have a greater impact. I know that doesn't necessarily relate to sustainable funding, but I think those things all go together.
Thank you.
Michael.
So I have a number of things, but let me run through these real quick. I didn't hear you come up with a what I would refer to as a mission-driven statement. So that, there's all kinds that you could come up with. I was just thinking myself, she served with courage, we serve her with purpose. You need some kind of a statement, where female veterans find strength, sisterhood, and the support they were promised. Look for a way to create some kind of a powerful mission-driven statement. The next thing I would recommend to you is on the funding side, uh, be expansive here. Look for corporate sponsorships, government grants. I wouldn't go to the VA. They're very difficult to
No.
deal with.
Mhm.
I would go to state level veterans organizations, try one state at a time and then you can expand it out, like something that you're just learning, with that organization, that state, and then you can go to the next state. Um, Also consider crowdfunding campaigns. This is an area that, you might be able to crowdfund very effectively. Or, you could create something like a donors circle that you might call the sisterhood circle or something like that. All those, I think, are ways of looking at that. And then the last thing I'll mention right away here is the idea of strategic partnerships. So look for women-focused businesses or women-focused CEOs who might be willing to put this forward. There are a lot of female veterans who have become successful in the business world. Go to them. Veteran service organizations. Here's another one. Think of going to a university and creating a research partnership with them, with the types of people that you're dealing with, or employee resource groups. And don't forget local government offices for community grants. Those are all good places. I hope
Yeah.
that that's somewhat helpful to you.
Yes. Thank you.
Melinda.
Got a couple of ideas I wanted to share real fast. One is your competition you could possibly partner with because you guys have different niches. And one of my thoughts after I got to that part was, what if you guys all put on a big veterans event, like around a holiday, and you did it together and you all raised funds together? I mean, it shows unity in what you're doing, and you're taking the leadership, which is puts you right in front of everybody for the vision of doing something big like that. And you're helping everybody because all of the groups need funds. And if you get but do it around Memorial Day or one of the holidays that are really big that we think about. Veterans Day might be the best one because there is nothing done on Veterans Day. I mean, that's a natural. And build a big event. And we're in Metro DC. Can't be done in a better place. You'll get national visibility.
Thank you.
So I'll jump in again. I think creating a list of the 100 companies you're going to go after is a first step. A second thought is possibly hiring someone different than the grant manager, but who's a professional fundraiser.
Mhm.
Again, they take a commission a piece off of the fundraise. I get it. But both the grant manager and the professional fundraiser are very productive. You can't do everything.
Right, exactly.
And at least possibly on the fundraising side, you may get a commission only person. You may. So that's at least helpful to the budget. You also, why don't you tell everyone what it costs, including the 4-day retreat, hotel, everything is paid for and included for 12 women to attend.
It's 7,500 per person for because that covers all costs, their travel, the 6-week programming. I have a team of professionals that present. I'm not the only one that presents. So operational costs, administrative costs, marketing, and so forth is included in that 7,500 per person for them to go through the program.
So 12 people is ballpark 100 grand.
100 grand, ballpark.
Right. Because in the fundraising component, people understanding that,
Okay.
you know, and 50 grand isn't going to the founder, Paulette Hubbert,
No,
of the
absolutely.
100 grand.
I
You
wish,
know,
but absolutely
right.
not.
But that breakdown is important.
Okay.
When you're talking to a corporate donor and you're looking for the socially conscious corporate donor, because companies have departments for this at the larger scale. And picking up a 10 grand commitment, they're going to want to see what their money is going to financially.
That makes
Yeah.
sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Jen, then Steve.
Vanessa Schneider put a comment in chat. Her video audio is not working, so I just want to read her comment. The Virginia SBSD hosts a few cohorts a year of what's called Virginia She Served Business Builder. It's a 6-week workshop geared for female veteran business owners. You could be a great guest speaker there because one of the things they don't talk about is mental health for female veterans. So, and I definitely second this. I teach entrepreneurship to a group of veterans, and I think the mental health and anxiety you have just around launching a business on top of whatever you already have coming into the equation is challenging. And so I think pursuing what Vanessa talked about, pursuing a speaking path too, to bring awareness could be a great path for you as well.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Someone mentioned research, okay? And I'm just thinking, maybe you want to contact university psychology departments and have them do some have them kind of like do some research where you get access to that research, and then you could use that as a means of fundraising and raising awareness, because then you'll have some data behind it. I would contact university psych departments, especially the graduate students, particularly the PhD students. Might be something there.
Okay.
Great thought. Melinda.
I was just finishing what I was writing. I just wanted to ask a question of you didn't tell us your story of why you started this business and there's probably a lot that you could share of why you focused in this area.
I shared my story about seeing the female veteran.
Yes.
That had held that secret of being sexually assaulted for almost 40 years. And as a result of her, it started me to thinking about other veterans who had not shared or didn't have a safe place to land. And so when I started doing my research and realized that 1 in 3 women will experience military sexual assault, the issues with isolation, the difficulties of them transitioning back into civilian population after they have served, all of those things culminated into me identifying a need to provide services to female veterans.
Thank you.
Jen.
I'm going to pretend I'm John Foster for a minute. John Foster and I both love LinkedIn as a marketing channel. I put a link to your profile in chat. I think there are a lot of opportunities to update your profile, to create a company page, just to give it a bit more reality, right? There are also a lot of people who are looking for board service. And the best way to start on the board service path typically is through a nonprofit. So even if you did start a board, using LinkedIn to announce that, to ask for people who are interested, there's just lots of important things you can do. And so as you're using your social media, I would just recommend go back and revisit your profiles, make sure they have the latest information, that they show how people can get involved, and it's a good call to action. Now John Foster turned his camera off. He's going to jump in and chime in what I might have missed. But I think it's very important to have that profile reflect.
Okay.
More
Thank
effective.
you.
Big John.
I appreciate it, John. Paul, I got to tell you, I apologize for being late, but I was actually sitting in my car crying as you were talking about your story. And Jen took most of the LinkedIn stuff I was going to say, but because the platform is so pervasive, and free for a good, a lot of it, but certainly you can buy ads and that sort of thing. But I can't stress enough, I think taking advantage of that platform, getting your story out, as Melinda was talking about. The other thing is that the whole subject of mental health is so pervasive today that I think the more you can get that out, it's going to be hugely helpful to you. I'm just going to bring up one individual who actually was here about 3 years ago, was Johnny Crowder with Cope Notes, who's had a lot of success and exposure. I suggest you just connect with him, because I think he has a tool out there around mental health. So I think you can use this platform to hugely help your branding and story. So anyway, thank you so much for what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you.
You'll make the connection to Johnny Crowder?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Michael.
So following up on Jen's comment about LinkedIn, I think social media is a real opportunity for you. And here are a couple other thoughts that I have. You might want to create or publish some articles on veterans issues about gender equality and the transition challenges that female veterans have, and send those off. Send them to the offices of the various members of Congress, both in the House and the Senate, who serve on the veterans committees or on the health committees. Making it a point to send it to their policy person there. Another thing might be to do, try to get on some podcasts to tell your story, so that it gets, more national feel. And the last thing I'd recommend to you is, try to engage in conversations with organizations that are already in this field, particularly women's health and veterans employment. And as I mentioned earlier, I really think that going local will give you national prominence. Don't worry about the big picture. Start a little smaller, learn a little, do a little is what I'd suggest to you.
Okay. Thank
really
you.
great. Jen.
Sure. Sometimes I think the older I get, my thoughts just take a minute to show up. I've forgotten that the National Association of Mental Illness, NAMI, is actually a member at Mason Enterprise Center. So I'd love to connect you with Eddie so you can also connect with them. And again, maybe there's webinars you can do together, joint things, but they're the largest grassroots mental health organization. And so I'm putting that info in chat.
Thank you.
But they're here local, and I just think that might be a good strategic partnership to connect with. So yeah, that's my thought there.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Well, group, once again, the ideas that you've brought up and the intros that you can make for Paulette are phenomenal. And, Paulette, part of your challenge is you have two markets. You have the individual women who are going to participate, who you have to attract, and you have fundraising targets.
Yes.
And again, you asked us to focus on the fundraising targets, if you will. I think you've heard great ideas.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Tom, jump in.
Yeah, I just have one extra thought. So, like as we're talking about a lot of these great ideas, there's one other one that I don't think we hit on too much, but like you're going through your first cohort, right? And you're having your first offsite with folks that are going to graduate from the program probably, and it would be good timing to try to find and identify potential candidates to do a case study. Whether it's a real media interview or if it's something that's redacted to protect their identity, it just will add some extra substance and help to go viral. And obviously on social media, anything that's got video, multi-rich media normally gets higher in the search engine ratings.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you.
To add to that, and we've talked, Paulette, about alumni relations.
Mm-hmm.
Because one, post-graduation, you're remaining in touch with these people
Yes.
to be a resource, to be the technical resource as needed, and your community. But they become your evangelicals, or at least part of them will be.
Yes.
And yeah, so very exciting. So if there are no further questions, I think we may be ready to bring the slides back. And one, thank you, Paulette, and congratulations to you for creating your nonprofit. And I know 20 some odd people who will be supportive of you moving forward and just keep showing up on a regular basis at 1 Million
Absolutely.
Cups. And so our last question of the day, what else can our 1 Million Cups community help you with today?
Is that microphone to me or
Yes,
to
ma'am, I'm asking you.
Oh, okay. Wow. First, thank everybody. I mean, the ideals are just overwhelming. I can't wait to start filtering through and connecting with people. Thank everybody that gave me feedback and ideas because I never would have come up with all of this by myself. So thank you. I don't have any, I mean, you guys answered everything that any questions and questions I didn't even think to ask. So I don't have any additional questions today. I just look forward to going through the all of the recommendations and connecting with people and really trying to make this happen. So thank you all again for all of your feedback and ideas.
Again, thank you, and thank you for your service. And back to you, AJ.
Thank you, John. Next slide, please. So next week's presenter could be you or your friends. So you saw here are the benefits. You saw here Dr. Paulette presenting. She at least picked up about 26 ambassadors. Some of them will work to get her the contacts. And also, you heard the critique. That's gonna, even a cent or two is gonna help Dr. Paulette, your business. So this is what you're gonna get from 1 Million Cups when you attend and come present in these events. Even a cent or two, what you get out of here, definitely is going to help you grow in your business. So please, I would request come and attend and also present. And here is a list of our upcoming events. Scan the QR code, find out about those events, and go attend, network with each other. Next slide, please.
Actually, AJ, just real quick, 1 second.
Sure.
For the events, I'm going to drop in chat. James Lawson and I are speaking along with Colin May on March 31st in the morning. It's a Tuesday morning. And we'll be discussing how to go from invisible to really growing and scaling your business and becoming an in-demand company. So if that's of interest to you, if you like James and what he shares, if you like what I share, and Colin May, who's with KME Digital, he'll be talking about digital marketing. Love to have you attend. If you shoot me a note in chat, I can share a code so that it is complimentary. So thanks, AJ.
And Jen, where is this going to be?
It's part of the Reston Chamber. Thank you for asking. So
Sure.
it'll be at the Reston Chamber offices.
All right, thank you. And Jen, can you talk about our presenter schedule here also, please?
Sure. That is the punishment when you share an event. You get to keep on talking. So, March, we still have a few spots open. We are starting to book up our appointments actually in April and May. So if you're interested, maybe you want to pivot or do something different with your business. If you have an idea, we'd love to give you feedback on it. We really welcome businesses in any stage who need help with a specific challenge question. You heard from Dr. Paulette today, sharing her challenge question. Our goal is to help you. This is a safe space where we share feedback and ideas. We want our presenters to be successful. We make it very easy for people to apply. You fill out a form and it automatically creates your slides. If you already have slides you love, we're happy to use them. But again, we try to make this as easy as possible for anyone to attend. What I would ask is if you like today's session, share our posts on social. And spread the word, because we'd love to have more applicants and fill up our pipeline. Small business will hopefully save the planet, but it all starts with something small like this.
Next slide, please. So as Jen mentioned, not only that, watch our presentations on YouTube and Facebook. See how we present and how we handle our sessions. And also don't forget to follow us on X, LinkedIn, and Facebook. All you need to do is scan the QR code and everything is there. We made it so easy for you. Next slide, please. Well, folks, thank you for attending. Stick around for a while, network, and get to know each other. We still have a few minutes.
Great job, Paul.